In your eyes there's a heavy blue, one to love and one to lose. Sweet divine, the heavy truth, water or wine, don't make me choose. I wanna feel the way that we did that summer night. Drunk on a feeling, alone with the stars in the sky. I've been running through the jungle, I've been running with the wolves to get to you, to get to you. I've been down the darkest alley, saw the dark side of the moon to get to you, to get to you. I look for love and every stranger took too much easy anger, all for you, yeah, all for you. I've been running through the jungle, I've been crying with the wolves to get to you, to get to you, to get to you. Your fingertips trace my skin to places I have never been. Blindly I am following. Break down these walls and come on in. I wanna feel the way that we did that summer night. Drunk on a feeling, alone with the stars in the sky. I've been running through the jungle, I've been running with the wolves to get to you, to get to you. I've been down the darkest alley, saw the dark side of the moon to get to you, to get to you. I look for love and every stranger took too much easy anger, all for you, yeah, all for you. I've been running through the jungle, I've been crying with the wolves to get to you, to get to you, to get to you.
I've done my sentence, but committed no crime. And bad mistakes, I've made a few. I've had my shells and kicks in my face, but I've come through. And I need to go on, 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 on. We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. I've taken my bows and my curtain calls. You brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with it. I thank you all, but it's been no bed of roses, no pleasure cruise. I consider it a challenge before the whole human race, and I ain't gonna lose. And I need to go on, We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions.
As the sun sets on Oceanside Arena, it's time for one final homestand, one last chance to show out at the arena that's housed ASU hockey for almost 45 years, and one last chance to send the Devil faithful home happy. The challenger comes in the form of the Las Vegas Rebels, and no easy task is ahead. Can the Sun Devils send the senior class riding off into the sunset, or will the Rebels ruin the day? It's senior night. Find out next as we say farewell to our graduating class at Oceanside Arena. Arizona State Sun Devils, University of Las Vegas Rebels. Next on ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube.
Hello everyone and welcome to ACHA Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn alongside my partner Niall Cooper as the 19th ranked Sun Devils play host to the number 3rd ranked UNLV Rebels. And it's the last ride at Oceanside Ice Arena for this ASU ACHA hockey program, but it's also the last ride for this tremendous senior class that has done a great job being very instrumental in terms of the health of this program.
Yeah, it's been massive. Arizona State getting back, and you wouldn't think after going and getting that promotion to the NCAA level and just abandoning the program at the ACHA Division I level that Arizona State would be able to come back and put something together in the way that they have. I mean, the amount of tryouts they have gotten every season. They have a team at NCAA, Division I club, Division II club, Division III club. They're getting nearly 200 tryouts a year, and this core group of seniors, we're going to hear from all 10 of them shortly here in their send-off tonight. But they have been absolutely instrumental in keeping this program going and allowing ASU a chance to possibly play at nationals each year.
Well, folks, the senior festivities for senior night are almost underway, and we'll take you down to ice level in just a few minutes here on Arizona State Hockey YouTube.
Brynn is joined this evening by mother Sarah
was great seeing all those seniors get celebrated and get their proper due. And before we have puck drop tonight, we'll introduce tonight's starting goaltenders. For the visiting Rebels, it'll be number 29, Landon Pavlison from San Clemente, California. He's 11-1 on the year and won against University of Arizona on February 11th. And for the home Sun Devils, it'll be number 31, Dawson Rodine, one of those seniors that was celebrated earlier. The British Columbia native. Won both games versus San Diego State 2 weeks ago. As we get things underway, I'm Brett Vaughn, alongside my partner Niall Cooper, as we'll have the final puck drop here from Oceanside Ice Arena. Draw won by the Rebels. With it is Kyle Quinn. Quinn back in his own zone, over to Ness. Picked off by Lackey. Ends up going up off the stanchion. Now, what are you looking for in tonight's hockey game?
I think the key tonight really, Brett, is going to be how can Arizona State withstand what we are assuming will be a very early and heavy press from UNLV. The Rebels didn't come out with their best game of the season last night to start. Arizona State was able to hold on during the first and really take command during the second. You know UNLV certainly does not want to get swept on the road here tonight, and I expect a hot start from them.
Arizona State enters in the zone. Damon Porter to Tillman, the one-timer. 2 stops there by Pavlison, and he gets it up and out of play. Arizona State threatening early. We saw last night it took a little bit for them to get into the hockey game, but they're starting off hot.
And Tillman, the man of the hour, he had an amazing game last night. He was looking hot, looking confident, shooting the puck well, and right here, same thing we saw last night.
Draw one by Arizona State. They play it back down. Trying to skate out of his own zone is Carollo. And UNLV will chip it out. Palmer trying to get it by Manning. Caught up against the boards. Gets taken down. Referees haven't blown the whistle down. Arizona State comes out with it. Stretch pass to Porter. Trying to fight off 2 Rebels players. He has to go in the corner. Sun Devils finish up a change. There's just past 2 minutes in this first period. Shot that time from Smith, ends up trickling over to Rodine, and we'll have a whistle. Talking with head coach Austin Klein before the game about some of his memories of this very historic building. He actually came here as a patron, supporting one of his friends who's actually a player on the Arizona State team, Ryan Francis. And who would have thought that 2 years after that he would have become the head coach for Arizona State. That played up and out of play. Face off in the Arizona State end, won by Studioso, and Ty Marchand wheels around in his own zone. Dives for the puck, but it gets turned over to Johnson. Turned over to Studioso, the shot, and ends up being an interference call. Unfortunate for Arizona State because that was a good chance.
Yeah, you can see what Kylie Ram had in mind there, the turnover at the blue line. He had wide eyes for the goal. He saw his forward partner coming in late, and he wanted to set a subtle screen if he could to try to allow Studioso a chance to walk in and get a great shot. Unfortunately, interfered just a little too much. And an early chance for the Rebels, who in the first period last night looked very dangerous on the power play.
Berry with the puck, but it's an errant pass, and Kate Olson will dump it down 200 feet. One of the keys heading to the weekend against UNLV was trying to stay out of the box because they might have one of the most lethal power plays in all the ACHA. It'll come over to the defenseman, Johnson. Alec Johnson trying to go around the net. Played up to the point, Wyatt. Gives it back to Johnson, and they try and set up. Wyatt on the right half wall. UNLV, though, hasn't looked too sharp as they get into a little extracurricular after the whistle, maybe showing some of their frustration.
And still, Flanders getting familiar in front of the blue paint with Cade Olson. Cade Olson, our player of the game last night. He had a great game, covered all 200 feet of the ice really well. And the Rebels, to your point, feeling a little bit of frustration after last night as they thought they might have been able to come in here to Oceanside and be able to waltz their way to an easy victory. The Sun Devils making sure that's not so.
Olson trying to apply some pressure. Cooch can't get it out, kept him by Wyatt. One-touch passing by the Rebels. The one-timer from McCollum misses wide, takes a hop off the glass, kept in by Strong. 60 seconds has elapsed on the man advantage for UNLV. The shot pass, and Manning was unable to handle it. Marchand, a hard rim around, allows his teammates to change. Jackson Wyatt sets up behind his net, kicks it out to Luke Burke. Burke, he gets harassed by William Keller, and Ian Erdman dumps it down. Pretty good PK for Arizona State so far.
A very good PK, and this is what we saw a lot from the Sun Devils late in the game last night. Very aggressive, those top four checkers, not allowing UNLV to break out the puck very well, and then just dominating the stick lanes between passes.
Strong has it, rims it around. Keller chopping at it, kept in by McCollum. Manning from the right corner, up to Wyatt. 10 seconds remaining on the power play. Down low, trying to stuff it in front was Burke, cleared out. McCollum. Aaron pass to Wyatt, and Kylie Ram hops out of the box, and ASU's full strength. Fanning on the shot there was Strong in the corner. McCollum pinching in, trying to keep it. Tillman chips it over to Phillips, and he has some time and space to get it out. Ends up getting a hard ride by Burke. Fisher takes it. Seam pass to Smith. It's behind him. Erdman. Rim around, kept in by Ford. His point shot misses wide. Franklin for Arizona State has to shed off Smith. Porter trying to help him out. Kept in by the Rebels. Shot on from Smith, loose in front, and Rodin had to be active and aware as that puck was just sitting there on that second chance opportunity.
And good for Dawson Rodin. He hasn't seen a whole lot of action lately, Brett, as the last time he was out on the ice for Arizona State was when they went down to San Diego State and played the Aztecs. San Diego State having a bit of a down year, their first time up in the Division I level. And so Rodin, not having seen a whole lot of top-end action in quite a while, we are very intrigued to see how he'd handle the test tonight against UNLV.
Wacky pushes it up to Tillman. Tillman trying to get that puck in, but he gets a couple checks from the Rebels players, and now the defenseman Quinn goes the other way. Chip down low, DeMizio. He was a factor in last night's game, up to Quinn. Quinn shot on, point shot through, DeMizio off the side of the net. Still has it. At the point. Played back down. In front, centered Rodin makes another stop. This time off DeMizio.
And just as we mentioned it, Rodin getting tested early and often. The Rebels really pushing hard right now. A great shift from this line for UNLV. As we saw last night, number 21, Jason DeMizio, played really well, had 2 goals in the affair last night, and you can see he's really dialed in. He isn't exactly the offensive force that UNLV puts out on the ice each and every night, but this weekend in particular, there's something about this affair that's got him going, and he's playing at a top level.
Puck still loose. Thrown in by Barry, into the corner by Rodin. Just past 5 minutes in this first period as the puck goes up and out of play. And you mentioned it, Niall, about DeMizio. He's maybe not one of their faster players, but he's great cycling, working underneath the goal line, which is what Arizona State's forcing UNLV to do to generate scoring chances. Palmer over to Cooch, but it goes past him. Thrown back down in by Barry. Hosworth, normally a defenseman by trade, playing as a center tonight. Kruk working up the left side, fans on the pass, Flanders. Gets it taken away by Hosworth. Hosworth to Cooch. Now over to Phillips on the left side. Phillips drops it for Cooch, but out of the reach for him, and it gets cleared out to center ice. Rebels, although they weren't able to get anything generated on the man advantage, looks like they have some momentum as they've peppered a few shots against Rodin as Rodin flags that one down. And we'll have a whistle with 13:58 in this first period.
And Arizona State, surprising last night at the end of the first, had a dominant lead in the shots on goal category against UNLV. So far tonight, UNLV coming out with a lot of speed and a lot of force, just like you said, and they don't seem at all afraid to go and cycle, as you mentioned, Brett, due to Arizona State trying to take away the easy chances.
Studioso has some time and space. Cross corner dump to Kylie Ram, centering that one in front. Studioso in front. Oh, and that was a tricky one for Pavlison, as that was a quick redirection out in front. Luckily, he squeezed the leg pads together. Arizona State hasn't had an offensive chance in a minute or two after that one. Studioso wins the draw. Marchand, point shot, blocked by Strong. Olsen trying to keep that one in, he does, but it's given away. Rebels will take it out. Kylie Ram on the back check. Nice job dislodging the puck. Kylie Ram, Delane, button hooks, up. Oh, he had Marchand. Marchand was able to get the shot on it. It pops up on top of the net, and Pavlison had to put his glove on it. Great vision shown by Kylie Ram as he noticed Marchand streaking back door.
And I don't think I've seen the puck end up on the top of the net like that, Brett. Maybe the last time I played Chell, I had a 2-on-1, got a shot off, and it managed to just jump on the very top of the net and roll around. Pretty frustrating play, but a good look nonetheless for Arizona State.
One by Fisher for the Rebels. Rebels had a few lineup changes from last night's game. Same with Arizona State. Tillman over to Erdman. He's getting pressured by Burke. Tillman has to pick it up off the wall. Tight turn around back to Erdman. Lackey chips it in. Quinn looking behind his shoulder. He gets a rough ride by Tillman. Played back around. Lackey throws it down low. Porter's tangled up with Quinn. It'll pop out to a UNLV player with Fisher. With it, shipping it in. As the Rebels will try to finish off a change. Young. That icing pass play works out as Porter beats out the icing. Picks it up, Porter. Behind the net to Lackey. Lackey waiting for some of his recruits to come off the bench. Turned over. DeMizio unable to find it. Gets some help from his centerman, Gallant, and they'll break out. Not too much in this game so far. Both teams are working hard, but it just seems to be maybe missing that little juice. Maybe waiting for a big hit to get both teams in it. As looks to be a delayed penalty call now for Arizona State. Palmer with it as Rodin heads to the bench. And we'll finally have a whistle down. And it looked actually to be an Arizona State delayed penalty call for a power play, but looks to be that Kylie Ram got tangled up, and so it ends up being a 4-on-4 play now.
And unfortunate for Arizona State, they knew they had the power play coming. All they had to do really was give up possession of the puck to UNLV, and they would have gone straight on the man advantage. I missed back behind the play the holding call on Kylie Ram, and he looked a little frustrated going to the bench. Arizona State now a little more open ice for some of their speedy players.
We'll see how this goes. It's turned over now to Smith. Drops it for Johnson. Johnson shot. Rodin with an unbelievable glove stop in the splits. And he's getting into this game early.
Dawson Rodin showing exactly why you should go to your Pilates class every Sunday The strength, the athleticism, just on full display from the big goaltender for Arizona State. A huge save early on this 4-on-4.
Rebels collect the puck after the face-off. Shot on from McCollum. Rodin's able to track that one all the way. And unfortunate for Arizona State already, 2 undisciplined penalties. One cost him having to kill a penalty, and then the second one negated their power play.
Not timely, either one of the penalties for Arizona State. And you can hear the frustration at times on the coaching staff from the bench as they realize what's at stake with Arizona State having a chance to sweep number 3 in the nation.
Great poise by Olsen as he's able to fend off a couple forecheckers and played over to Marchand. 30 seconds has passed on the 4-on-4 play. Kate Olsen on the right side drops it for Tillman. Tillman shot on, and that's gobbled up by Pallison with no rebound with 10:49 in this first period.
And it's certainly going to take a lot for Arizona State to get anything past Landon Pavlison tonight. 11-1 his record on the year, a sub-2 goals against average, a .942 save percentage. I mean, those are stats that you just don't see very often.
Player trying to win the draw and kick it out, but it gets taken away. Going for UNLV, he has an escape turn. Now he plays it up to Burke. In the skates of Manning. Palmer fakes him out. Good hesitation play. Over to Kruk. It's a tough pass for him to handle, not to play it back down. Kruk. Cross-ice pass to Plurd, but Plurd ends up overhandling the puck and turns it over. Kyle Quinn streaks through the middle. Great active stick by Palmer on the turnover play. He looked like he maybe had an opportunity, but then he elects to keep the puck and skate it himself. Palmer with the wrist shot on, and he looks to be offside, as I think Elliot Plurd was a little too eager getting over the blue line.
Plurd a little bit too eager there, but going back just a few seconds before the offsides, Wyatt Palmer with some slick skating through the neutral zone. He had his head up, wanted to make that breakout pass and stretch it from blue to blue. It wasn't available as UNLV was changing and covering up the one forward dangling back there at the offensive blue line for Arizona State. And so Palmer said, no problem, I'll take it myself, and skates it in single-handedly.
Lackey wins the draw. About 20 seconds remain on the 4-on-4 play. Tillman gets it from Young on the right side, stops, hesitates, gets around Barry. Tillman still with it, up at the point, Franklin. Franklin to Young, the one-timer shot from Young, ramps up into the corner. Lackey trying to get there, but he gets tangled up. Now both teams are back to full strength. Lackey with it, trying to get around DeMizio. Lackey still fighting him off. Fights off a couple Rebels players, and Barry skates out with it. Ness driving with it, centering in front. Could have taken a dangerous hop, but it goes behind the net. Delayed penalty call now against Arizona State. Wyatt shows the shot. He does shoot it, misses high. And it's touched up by Tillman, and Arizona State's heading back to the box.
A bit of frustration from Clayton Lackey, as you could see him desperately motioning to the official behind the play after he got ridden off the puck in the corner. He was looking for some sort of call, holding, interference, hooking, you name it. He wasn't going to get the call, and on the back check, just a little too eager to come back, and he got entangled with the UNLV forward, and that's going to be another power play for the Rebels, and you have to wonder how long this Arizona State penalty kill can keep playing at an elite level.
Absolutely a great point there, as Arizona State started off this penalty kill great so far as they got that initial clear. Controlled by Strong. Hosworth working on him. Up to Manning. Drops it to Wyatt at the top of the key. Wyatt shot on, and they score. Couple of bodies in front for Rodin to try to fight through the traffic, and Wyatt's low, hard shot from the point gets through, and it's 1-0 UNLV.
And that UNLV power play, we've seen them wanting to set up get it down low. They really like to work it low to high and low to the middle of the slot. That's where their bread and butter plays are that they've drawn up for their power play. Arizona State has not been affording them that chance, so instead they changed up a little bit once they get the zone entry. They get some bodies in front, and against a big goaltender like Rodin, that's the best way you can get get the puck past him, is just get the bodies in front of the net, and a seeing eye shot goes in.
Plurd trying to get that over to Kylie Ram. Sun Devils are trying to respond after getting down one. Picked up by McCollum. His chip shot over to Palmer, but he just keeps it out. Rebels entering onside. Great back check by Kylie Ram. But he gives it back away to Johnson and the Rebels. Plurd trying to go for that cross corner swing play, but ends up going up into the netting.
The Sun Devils last night against UNLV not trailing at any point in the game. Tonight, however, different story. Adversity early on for the Sun Devils. We'll have to see how they can respond here. As early in the year, this seemed like a team that did not handle the adversity too well on a night-to-night basis, but recently against U of A, they looked pretty good.
Picked up by Strong. His short angle shot misses wide. Carullo ends up over-skating it, and Quinn has to collect it in his own zone. Quinn on the right side doesn't get all of that chip, but it drops to Smith, now to Strong. Kruk does a great job blocking the pass. Rebels still going to work. One-timer shot saved by Rodin. It was a quick one as he had to react off the shot from Wyatt. Kruk chips it out. Arizona State, a tie group, will go for a change. 7 minutes left in this first period. Olsen drops it, but Tillman near the end of his shift just trying to finish up and apply any sort of pressure he might have with his energy left. Olsen, great job in front of Flanders, and Marchand will come out with it. Marchand around a couple Rebels players. He enters in on the left side. Dump down, Barry rims it all the way around. It'll come to Nicholas Flanders. Cross corner dump to Feelig. Feelig stops. Pass to Manning. Fans on the shot, and it's taken away by Schultz. Keller on the left side. Still with it. Keller shot on as he was looking for that redirection play from Schultz, but just too far in front of him. As the game's starting to open up a little bit after that UNLV goal. Feelig chips it in as the Rebels are a little tired. Erdman trying to elect for that stretch pass. He'll find Phillips, but Cooch ends up getting crossed up with them, and they turn it back over to UNLV. Arizona State, especially when they're entering in the offensive zone, have not been able to have any clean break-ins. Phillips trying to jump on the turnover with Cooch. Rugby scrum at the blue line. Franklin keeps it in, takes a hit in doing so, and we'll have a penalty going against UNLV.
And usually the calls at the end of a night end up finding a way to equal themselves out for the most part, and so you knew UNLV would have to be on their best behavior after getting a couple of quick back-to-back power plays. That hit just a little bit late. Not the most malicious thing I think we've ever seen in this building. There's been a lot of exciting games over the years, but a little bit too late for the referees' liking there, and the Sun Devils a great opportunity afforded to them here on the power play.
Studioso unable to win it, but kept in by Lackey as it dribbles over to him. Arizona State tries to settle in, but Connor Tillman has to get the puck out. As we have 5 minutes left in this first period, Arizona State trying to tie this one back up, played in to the goaltender Pavlison. He had some trouble with it. Quinn dumps it down. Marchand back in his own zone. 30 seconds has passed on the man advantage. Ladles it over to Studioso, but he's having some trouble breaking in. He ends up taking a check. Smith is trying to milk some of that penalty clock, and he'll dump it down. Studioso over skates the puck as the ice is a little chewed up, as it usually is towards the end of the period. Kate Olsen, Hardrum around, out of the reach for the goaltender Pavlison to Studioso, now to Plurd. 50 seconds left on the man advantage. Plurd up to Studioso on the left half wall. Gives it right back to Plurd, waiting at the point. Olsen, now to Studioso. Studioso waiting, the shot on, misses the net and goes all the way down.
And I like what Studioso's thinking there after Arizona State a little bit of trouble setting things up, wants to go for the shot.
Plurd trying to knife his way through. It's shown to the boards. Gallant dumps it all the way down. 15 seconds left on the power play as Gallant's hustling hard on the forecheck and Rodin has to play it. Up against the wall, Gallant doing a great job killing this penalty off as it took 3 Sun Devils to pry it away from him. And as Arizona State was breaking out, looks to be another undisciplined penalty. Too many men.
The Sun Devils only getting one good look during that entire power play sequence. Some elite penalty killing from the Rebels side of things. And then undisciplined seems to be the word of the first period tonight for Arizona State. Not the penalty you want to take right there in front of your own bench. 6 skaters on the ice. That's a lack of communication. That's a lack of sharpness, a lack of intensity. You look at it any way you want to look at it, and that's just a bad play for Arizona State, and they're really going to have to be on top of things shorthanded against the Rebels team that's really starting to feel confident in this game.
Face-off will be to the left of Rodin with Burke and Kylie Ram. Draw one by Burke. Wyatt, D to Strong. To Wyatt, the goal scorer. One time from McCollum, and Rodin did a great job of fronting the shooter and ends up putting that rebound up and out of play. Reminiscing a little bit yesterday with assistant coach for Arizona State, Kelly Newton. His memories were actually as an opposing coach when he was coaching at Colorado State. Rebels win the draw again. McCollum with it. Wyatt over to Strong. McCollum to Wyatt for the one-timer. Takes a deflection in front. Burke still up on his skates. Now up at the point to Wyatt. Strong. Marchand, great read, intercepting the pass, but he's unable to clear it out. McCollum shot on as Rodin gets tangled up with a couple bodies in front, but play continues. Olsen to Marchand. Marchand, chip off the glass. Great keeping by Strong. Allows UNLV to still threaten in the offensive zone. Wyatt. Point shot on high, and Rodin, I'm not sure how he was able to see that one and grabbed it.
I think that took all of his 6'4", 230-pound frame, and that's not accounting for the skates he's on top of, including that, Brett. As Burke getting really familiar, chatting up the Arizona State players. Probably asking him where the nearest Chili's is. Luckily, it's not too far from here.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to be a little hungry after the game. Definitely know where I'm going to go.
Chicken bacon ranch quesadillas.
You don't have to tell me twice, as Dawson Rodin looks to be fixing some equipment, but also, too, I think he notices that his team's been under pressure and maybe getting a little breather to everybody.
Veteran move from Rodin.
UNLV still controls it. Wyatt. Shot on from Barry, and that was a juicy rebound, but Flanders on the right side wasn't ready for it. 40 seconds left. Alec Johnson fumbles with the puck, but he gets it back. Trying to find a shooting lane. He will, and Rodin flashes a leather, making his 15th stop of the game.
24 hours ago was the Sun Devils getting 15 shots in the first period. Tonight, UNLV taking things into their own hands. It certainly hasn't helped the Sun Devils' cause with as many times as they've been shorthanded early here in this hockey game. But they're about 33 seconds away from seeing off this power play.
Studioso won the draw, but it's kept in by Johnson. UNLV has been great in the circle tonight. Barry, his shot gets blocked. Whip around shot from Gallant, misses wide. It'll come over to Wyatt. 15 seconds left on the power play. Barry was in the wheelhouse for Johnson. He has to collect it. Fakes it. Shot on, and Lackey blocks that one with his chest as he's laboring a little bit. ASU's back to full strength. Kruk dumps it down to Palmer. Palmer whips it down out of the reach for Barry, and Studioso by himself. Studioso gets pinned up to the wall by Barry. Fights through a couple Rebels players as his ASU teammates go for a change. And we have 60 seconds remaining in this first period. Flanders turned over to Porter at the blue line. Porter shot on. Rebound still loose as Studioso goes tumbling end over end, as Pavlison was able to just get his glove on the rebound.
And I like to see that from Brendan Studioso, a point I wanted to make earlier in the period before things really picked up and got a little bit dicey. Studioso taking a shot on the last offensive chance the Sun Devils had prior to that when I thought a passing lane was available. But nonetheless, I like the aggressiveness, him going to the net right there, getting physical, getting in front of Pavlison, letting him know, hey, we're not going to go away lightly tonight, is some good veteran leadership from the senior.
As pucks bandied about, DeMizio was able to get it out with some help from his line mate Fisher. Puck rimmed around. Olsen is taken in by DeMizio. DeMizio with it. Carollo chips into the corner to Ness. Ness trying to center that in front, but Marchand blocks it. High chip off the glass will find Connor Tillman. And DeMizio, great job on the back check, but he turns it over. 10 seconds left, maybe one more chance. Marchand still with it. Marchand chips it in. 5 seconds left, and Quinn will just settle behind his net with a couple of skate moves, and that'll do it for this first period.
And just as we predicted, Brett, at the first period that saw the Rebels come out and dictate the pace of play, the Sun Devils really close, I thought, to being able to turn in another goose egg apiece in this first period. However, it was the lack of discipline that really did Arizona State in. They gave up way too many power play opportunities for UNLV, one too many as they were able to cash in, and they have that 1-0 lead.
Folks, thank you so much for tuning in and joining us tonight. It's senior night, and it's also the last ride here at Oceanside Ice Arena. At the end of one period of play, UNLV 1, Arizona State 0. This is Arizona State Hockey YouTube.
Hello out there, we're on the air, it's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Second period, where players dash with skates aflash, the home team trails behind, but they grab the puck and go bursting up, and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees, they travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside, it's a 1-1 hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name, and the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Third period, last game in the playoffs too. Oh, take me where the hockey players face off down the rink, and the Stanley Cup is all filled up for the champs who win the drink. Now the final flick of a hockey stick and a one gigantic scream. The puck is in, the home team wins the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game.
Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Even while we sleep, we will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. It's my own design. It's my own remorse. Help me to decide. Help me make the most of freedom and of pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to rule the world. There's a room where the light won't find you. Holding hands while the walls come tumbling down. When they do, I'll be right behind you. So glad we've almost made it. So sad they had to fade it. Everybody wants to rule the world. I see a red door and I want it painted black. No colors anymore, I want them to turn black.
I see the girls walk by dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes.
I see a line of cars and they are painted black. With flowers and my love both never to come back.
I see people turn their heads and quickly look away. Like a newborn baby, it just happens every day.
I look inside myself and see my heart is black. I see my red door, I must have it painted black.
Maybe then I'll fade away and not have to face the facts. It's not easy facing up when your whole world is black.
No more will my green seagull turn a deeper blue. I could not foresee this thing happening to you.
If I look hard enough into the setting sun, my love will laugh with me before the morning.
I see your dirty face, hide behind your collar. What is done in vain? Truth is hard to swallow, so you pray to God to justify the way you live a lie, live a lie.
And she gon' rock till the camera stop. I sing about angels like Angel Eye. And Pay My Life. And Samadai. And Amanda and Tamara. Why I'm in here like, what's up, mechanic, me? I can fix you up, I can you up, I can get down. Shout it, we could go wherever, just pick a town. And my jewelry is louder than an engine sound. Big egg rocks like on the ground. Dirty like socks that's on the ground. We say, because when I arrive, I'll bring the fire, make you come alive.
Cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. Cause you're a sky full of stars. Cause you light up the park. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you. Cause you're a sky full of stars. I wanna die in your arms. Cause you get lighter the more it gets dark. I'm gonna give you my heart. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause in the sky full of stars, I think I see you. I think I see you. Can I get another
the sun sets on Oceanside Arena, it's time for one final homestand. One last chance to show out at the arena that's housed ASU hockey for almost 45 years. And one last chance to send the Devil faithful home happy. The challenger comes in the form of the Las Vegas Rebels, and no easy task is ahead. Can the Sun Devils send the senior class riding off into the sunset? Or will the Rebels ruin the day? It's senior night. Find out next as we say farewell to our graduating class at Oceanside Arena. Arizona State Sun Devils, University of Las Vegas Rebels. Next on ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube.
Hello everyone and welcome back to ACHA ASU Hockey YouTube as we are just about to have the second period underway with UNLV leading by the score of 1-0 against Arizona State.
Give it about 20 minutes, I'll get chilly, so I'll grab mine, but thank you.
Brett Vaughn on the call here alongside my partner Niall Cooper. And Niall, we saw in last night's game that second period was where a lot of the scoring occurred.
Yeah, last night was a big night for Arizona State. Lots of scoring for them, and we're going to hope that that's the same case tonight.
Palmer trying to rim it out, kept in by DeMizio, center out in front, still loose. Beautiful stop by Rodin, as that was a tough one as the shot came underneath the legs of the UNLV shooter, and he had to be ready for it. As a faceoff will stay in the Arizona State zone. Definitely one thing they're going to try to work on this period is to stay out of the box. They took a lot of penalties, especially undisciplined ones. UNLV wins the draw again. Point shot misses wide by Carullo. Rim down below. Kruk has it. And it'll pop out to Porter, but he's unable to find Lackey. Carullo back in his own zone. Ice looks a little wet out there as it's going to make it tough for the players to stick handle.
And it's something we saw a lot last night, too. Really slowed down UNLV throughout the majority of the game.
Palmer gets back to his skates. Porter picked off by Tillman. Strong shot, and that's blocked by Kruk. In the corner with it. Shot on from Ness, and that's blocked. Another shot saved by Rodin. Rodin already getting tested early in this period as well. Wyatt turns it over to Lackey. He's got it. Lackey on his forehand. Lackey, beautiful stop by Pavlison as he had to reach that left leg out to meet that shot.
A great chance early for Arizona State. Lackey, the second time in as many nights, has had a breakaway and couldn't get it tucked in past that post.
Pavlison way out of his net. Almost turns it over, but he gets some help from Johnson. Rebels still with it, trying to break it out. McCollum gets harassed by Plurd. Plurd takes it away now as a couple of his line mates go for a change. Kylie Ram, fresh off the bench to Brendan Studioso. In the corner, that puck will fly back down below. Marchand shot on, blocked by Smith. Moving his legs is Johnson. Icing waved off. Rodin tees it up for Olsen behind his net, but it can't be cleared. Smith, shot on, out loose in front. Oh! And Manning, I think, was a little too casual with that one. Misses the wide open net. Wyatt to Smith. The puck rolls into the corner. Marchand pins him to the wall. Manning drops it, almost taken away by Studioso. And looks to be the first person to get to the puck, but it ends up being the goaltender for UNLV instead. Wild flurry of chances, both for each team.
The speed really picked up late in the first, and it has transitioned right out of the gate here in the second period. An amazing chance for UNLV on that prior chance. A wide open 4x6, and you know they're going to be dreaming of that one.
Feelig just has to push that one ahead to Manning. Manning gets his pass intercepted by Hosworth. Hosworth trying to hustle to it. Pavlinson has been busy in this period. And it gets out. Could be a 2-on-1 for UNLV. Flanders with Manning. Flanders still with it. Short angle shot. That gets blocked by Hosworth, as that was a dangerous opportunity for UNLV. They enter back in. Rodin leaves it behind his net. Quinn pinches to keep it in. Cooch plays it down around to Erdman. Now to Phillips. Hosworth on the left side. Soft chip, but turns it over to Fisher. Fisher's able to clear it out, and Kruk has to hustle off the bench. Carson Cooch. Shot on. Pavlison will redirect that rebound up and out of play, and we'll finally have a whistle.
And Arizona State looking like they're finding their legs a little bit more. We saw a little bit more of a jovial, spirited team coming out of the locker room for the second period. The win last night really has kind of cemented in their minds that they certainly are able to play with and against UNLV.
Rebels break it out. Chip in charge by Fisher. Palmer beats him to the puck. Out of reach for Tillman. Quinn. Right corner, centered out in front. No shot though by Fisher. Trying to play it back, and Lackey lifts the stick of the UNLV defenseman. Tillman takes it away, but then he loses it right back to Quinn, and he'll slow it down behind his net. Looks to be both teams looking for a change. So the Rebels are waiting for DiMizio to come down low. 15-15 left in the second period. Pass out of reach for DiMizio, played back down by Studioso. Plurd trying to pressure Quinn, but he'll play it up to Ness. Ness to Gallant. Gallant shot. Sticked in the corner by Rodin. Marchand. It's a hard check from Gallant. It's turned over. DiMizio with time and space. DiMizio shot on, and Rodin coming out and challenging the shooter, not allowing a rebound.
Big from Dawson Rodin there, as a little bit loose with the puck. Elliott Plurd, he was trying to poke it ahead, got a little bow-legged there as it was the end of a long shift for him, and he was starting to get tired. That turnover to the captain, DiMizio, and you know he would love to get that one back and try to pick one of the corners.
And if you're Arizona State, with the amount of shots and the amount of pressure that UNLV's put on you, you have to be lucky to be only down one. Rodin talking to the referee, possibly about the amount of traffic he's seen towards his crease, with a UNLV body trying to get in the way of his eye line. And the puck will be dropped, and it's won by UNLV. Wyatt shot, pounded into the corner by Rodin. Studioso walking out with it. Kylie Ram, he couldn't collect the pass. UNLV might have some odd man rush opportunities, but they have to slow it down. They turn it over. If Plurd can hurry, it could be a quick 2-on-1. Plurd centering that in front, and a great stick by the defenseman. McCollum allows UNLV to go the other way. Olsen and Smith battling for it in the corner. Plurd puts it right back. It's turned over. One-timer shot fanned by Strong. Chip off the glass. McCollum kept it in momentarily. Now down to Wyatt, but the Rebels control it at the center ice line.
Arizona State looking dangerous right now in this game. Although they don't have the chances to show for it, the counterattacking opportunities are there for the taking.
Barry to Smith, and Smith thought he had Wyatt back door. That was a dangerous opportunity, but no one there. Kylie Ram chips the puck out. Tired Sun Devil group. It's a long change in the second period. Flanders off the bench to Manning. Taken away by Kylie Ram. It's a 2-on-1 opportunity. Phillips. Now to Studioso. As Kylie Ram near the end of his shift was just trying to get the puck in. Studioso fighting with it to Schultz. Schultz shot gets blocked. Schultz trying to keep the puck in. Erdman will flip it down low. As play starting to pick up here. Flanders to feel it, gets around Young, but that puck's not cooperating with him, and Phillips chips it out.
And the slow ice really affecting the Rebels right now in the neutral zone. They're not connecting passes very well, and you've seen Arizona State within the last minute have multiple chances to break down the ice.
Young activates from the defensive line, but he can't handle the pass. Arizona State has not been that clean operating out of their own zone. And they're Cooch with great hustle beating out the icing call. Cooch still with it. Gets help from Phillips. Phillips trying to drive to the front of the net. Kruk. Shot on. Puck out loose in front. Cleared away by the Rebels. Palmer. Rimmed around to Cooch. Quinn keeps it in. Phillips, his second attempt, gets it out. As the Sun Devils have had a couple chances on that shift.
Yeah, and you hear the bench yelling at the players on the ice to take their time, slow it down a little bit. And if I'm Arizona State, I'm keeping the gas pedal pushed all the way down. They are all over UNLV.
DiMizio with it. DiMizio over to Galan, and they score. Tough as that was a turnover right on their own blue line, and UNLV makes them pay. It's 2-0.
And just like that, Arizona State, they had so much momentum. We're playing so well the last few minutes of the second period. And once again, just a little loose with the puck at their own blue line, and that is the last place you ever want to turn it over. UNLV making no mistake on the counter.
As Arizona State now down 2. They've had their chances. They just need to be opportunistic with them. Puck bouncing. It'll find Porter. Porter fans on the pass. Lackey playing it down to Tillman. Marchand, takes a tough check from Johnson. Kept it in momentarily, and now the Rebels have numbers. It's a 2-on-1. Gallant, DiMizio. Gallant to DiMizio, and they score. Beautiful patience shown again by those two as they strike again in the same period.
And DiMizio, he's been all over the ice for UNLV last night and tonight. Leading this team offensively, he's been big, he's been strong, he's been fast. And just as you mentioned, Arizona State needing to be a little more clinical with their finishing. It's UNLV, back-to-back odd man rushes, back-to-back goals, and they've opened this game wide up.
And it looks to be a timeout taken by the Arizona State bench boss, Austin Klein, as he's maybe sensing there could be a possible shift in this game, which is why there's going to be an early timeout.
Certainly the case. A little bit of respect between the two goalies going to the bench there. And most importantly, the coaches certainly are never thinking that they want to play for a certain type of loss. In the broadcast booth, we can at least speculate on that, given where Arizona State is in the rankings. Tonight is a night where even if you lose to UNLV, if this is a close game, if this is a competitive game, overall this weekend should net help you in the rankings. The last thing Arizona State wants after winning in overtime last night is to tonight lay an absolute goose egg the way that they did previously against U of A and really hurt them in the rankings, as right now they're just on the outside of that bubble spot looking in towards Boston.
And Arizona State put 5 past these same Rebels in last night's contest, so they definitely know they have the firepower to do it with a lot of hockey games still left. Draw one by Wyatt for UNLV. They'll come to Strong. They almost had an opportunity, but Marchand takes it away, but ends up being an icing.
And an icing, not exactly the play you want to see from Arizona State right after the timeout. Fresh off talking things over. However, technically speaking, we still have to be wary of the fact that Arizona State needs to stop the bleeding before they can get things going the other way. And that's going to mean taking care of puck. If they continue to turn the puck over at their own blue line and in the neutral zone, it's going to be a long night for Arizona State.
Now Arizona State with numbers. Studioso and Kylie Ram. Studioso still with it. Studioso, and great job by Pavlison to not try and fight over to that backdoor side. He stood his ground and it paid off.
And Brendan Studioso looks like he ran out of real estate there at the last second. You could see he knew he wanted to deke the defender, and after that point he was going back and forth. Do I pass to the back door? Do I deke him out and go for the shot? Next thing he knew, he was already in the blue paint and just had to get any shot off that he could.
Ford, Quinn has to settle that pass down from his defensive partner. It'll find Feelig, but he turns it over. Studioso trying to settle that puck down, dumps it in, but it gets taken by Quinn. Back to Marchand, and he'll 360 move back to Quinn and dump it in. Past midway through this second period, UNLV with a 3-0 lead. Drop pass by Flanders, centered in front by Ford, but that's blocked. Marchand has some space on this left side. Kylie Rand wasn't ready for the pass. He's trying to hustle down. Icing waved off. Studioso has the puck come to him. Centered in front, Plurd behind the net. Plurd waiting. Franklin, as he couldn't handle the pass, and it goes out into the neutral zone.
Unfortunate for Arizona State as they create a turnover in the offensive zone. Franklin taking his eye off the puck for just a fraction of a second.
Keller and Schultz get crossed up on the pass. That allows Flanders to enter in. Young will bat it out away. Marcus Tillman out there for Arizona State trying to force a turnover. He can't. UNLV will dump it back in quickly, and Rodin will just collect and get a whistle.
One thing I'd certainly love to see a little bit more from the Sun Devils in the second period going forward if they want to get back in this game. We talked about discipline. I think that also plays its part onto the bench as well, as the communication has significantly dropped down ever since they gave up that third goal. The energy was much more spry and much more constant last night in their win over UNLV.
Keller will chip it down. Schultz trying to hustle. Beats out McCollum to Tillman as he had that pass in his skates. And the Rebels now have a 3-on-2. Centered out in front, cleared away by Franklin. Keller delays, and he gets the passing lane to Young. Matthew Young centers that in front, but I'm not sure if he knew that all the rest of his teammates were going for a change. Grant Smith with it. Shot on, blocked by Lackey. He had to block a couple shots tonight. McCollum fakes the shot, just throws it back down. 8-10 in the second period. In the corner, Galan overskates the puck. Porter trying to pry it loose. Connor Tillman with the acrobatic play with a cross-ice pass, but it was too strong for Lackey. Neither team unable to get any sustained zone time on the forecheck. UNLV looks to possibly be able to do it here. DeMizio with the button hook to Barry to Wyatt. Rebound in front, and Palmer has to dangerously take that one away, but he can't clear it. Porter up to Lackey. Lackey hustling. Lackey centering that in front. Palmer following the play up. Palmer still with it. Overhandles the puck, and Ness will try to clear it out.
Long shift for the captain, Clayton Lackey. We've seen him very engaged tonight, blocking multiple shots, as you said, early in the first. Looked like he took a really tough one to the upper body, and he has soldiered on throughout the night, posting a great effort and trying to lead the charge for the Sun Devils.
Poor pass by Kruk allows Barry to regroup back in, but the Rebels go offside. This senior class has done a lot in its time here at Arizona State, and that's something that head coach Austin Klein made evident that, in his words, saved the club hockey program here.
Yeah, and this is an amazing club hockey program, Brett, that's really risen over the years. I mean, you've had a chance to play for Arizona State, and we've seen this program grow into something amazing. They have a national championship, and to lose an entire squad to the NCAA level and still come back and be competing hard every single year in the tough WCHL you have to tip your cap to everything this organization has done.
Cooch takes that puck away from Smith. Hosworth, high chip off the glass. Cooch trying to hustle that one with Carullo as they end up meeting together, and we'll have a whistle down and a little frustration shown on both sides. As it looked to be Cooch was battling to try to hustle for that puck with the defenseman Carollo. What seemed to be maybe a tough call at that point of the game.
Yeah, that's a tough one to take for the Sun Devils, and you know what Cooch is thinking there as he's going in that corner. It looks like it's about to be a 50-50 battle, and the defenseman for UNLV puts himself into a bit of an awkward position kind of at the last second, and you're asking Cooch, who's coming in with a full head of steam, looking to make that check, trying to create a turnover and get something going for his team. Certainly not a malicious player for Arizona State in any regard. And the referee really put on the spot there to have to make that tough call.
As Arizona State's trying to settle out which personnel they want to send out, as Cooch will be getting that minor penalty. Also looks to be for UNLV, Kyle Quinn heading to the box as well, as I think it was made for some of that extracurricular after the whistle, but after all the housekeeping, and it'll be a UNLV power play. Olsen just trying to seal that puck up against the kick plate, try to kill off as much clock as he can. UNLV trying to move that pile loose. They do. Johnson on his backhand, backs up to have some space. That redirection from Flanders goes wide. Phillips gets some help from Kylie Ram, and he'll dump it down 200 feet.
Some good penalty killing from the Sun Devils early, just eating that clock up as we're already down nearing the 45-second mark of this power play.
Barry skates out with it, drops it to Gallant. Over to Johnson. Johnson, hard rim around to Wyatt. They play pitch and catch with it. Barry walks the line. Barry still with it. Shot goes through, but Marchand can't clear it out. Past halfway through the man advantage. Barry shot to Gallant in the middle. Gallant shot. Rodin had a breakdance and make a couple stops, but he somehow keeps it out.
Dawson Rodin doing the absolute most for Arizona State to keep them in this game. You always have to lean on your goaltender, big time shorthanded, and right now the Sun Devils are doing just that.
Evident as well of the shot clock here being shown at Oceanside Ice Arena, 25-7 in favor of UNLV. Manning slows it down, 30 seconds left on the power play. Wyatt. Arid pass as Hosworth is forcing UNLV to back up in their own zone, and Strong has to do just that. Burke on the left side. Burke gets the puck taken away by Kruk. 5 seconds left. Shot from McCollum, and Studioso with a great job blocking that shot. ASU is now back to full strength.
A huge penalty kill at this point in the game, Brett, for Arizona State to nullify that momentum for UNLV and not let them go up 4.
Let's see if they can take any of that momentum off that penalty kill. Studioso drops it for Kruk. He's got some time and space on the left side. Kruk waiting for it, and Pavlison was aggressive with that play, shipping it up and out of the rink.
And a nice job to delay there by Studioso in the neutral zone as he saw Kruk coming in on that overlap. However, when Kruk crosses that blue line, I would have liked to have seen him put on the brakes a little bit, which would have given the time and space for Plurd to make a net front drive, and that really would have put UNLV defense in a bit of a precarious position.
As that tip from Plurd just goes dangerously wide. Quinn has it, but he makes an errant pass, and it's given away to Erdman. Erdman skates it out to Kylie Ram. They turn it over at the center ice line. Smith with it. Stops, waits. Unable to connect with the other Smith, and ASU will break it out. No icing. Pavlison will play it over to Barry. Puck on the half wall. They'll come out to Tillman. Tillman's quick shot on high, and that handcuffed Pavlison. Wasn't the surest of saves, but he does just enough.
And Tillman still showing all that confidence he had from last night as he walked that from his strong side into the middle of the ice. Not an easy play to make at all, and still generated a heavy wrist shot that you see caught Pavlison a little off guard as he's gathering himself before this offensive zone draw for Arizona State.
Linesman's waiting for Lackey to get back into his face-off spot. Hosworth can't win the draw. Quick play by UNLV to break it out. DeMizio protecting the puck. Cross-ice pass. Barry just has to chip it down. Under 3 minutes remaining in the second period. Lackey will push it out to the center ice line. As ASU has not been able to get any sustained forechecking pressure, unlike what they did last night.
No, UNLV's been a little more clean with their passes, and they haven't waited as long to go for a dump-in when necessary against ASU with the choppy ice tonight at Oceanside.
DeMizio centers that in front. The one-timer shot from Gallant. Looks to miss the net. Barry to Gallant. Gallant fakes the drop pass. Gallant's wrist shot misses high. As UNLV will change a couple of their personnel. Marchand to Olsen. Olsen to Lackey, but they can't get it out. Kept in by Manning. As it's a tired Sun Devil group out right now. Rimmed around, Marchand. Marchand with it, the stretch pass, and it's knocked down. And probably a smart play by Feelig, because even though it was whistled down, that could have been a great chance for ASU.
Yeah, the Sun Devils, as you mentioned, not having a great forecheck in this game. UNLV's been making things tough on them in that regard, also having a tough time breaking the puck out successfully. So what do you know, Clayton Lackey at the opposing blue line, sitting there waiting for the puck. Marchand thinking, all right, this is our chance now, going to go for that home run pass. And a smart heads-up play by UNLV just to get the whistle.
Palmer fans on the shot, he just has to throw it back down. Studioso with it, wheeling around. Palmer, his shot as he'll elect for the shot dump in the corner. Studioso in the corner. Kruk fakes a shot. His wrist shot misses wide from the point. Kruk activates, kept in, bobbled about, and Palmer, nice job getting through a couple UNLV players. Needs some help from Kruk. 70 seconds left in the second period. Johnson gets played back by Plurd. McCollum, tight turn around. Plurd doing a good job on this one-man forecheck. Now under a minute left. Palmer can't settle that puck down, has to retrieve it. Kruk takes a check, but he advances the puck up to Studioso. Carollo trying to settle that puck down, and it'll be played back to Quinn. Plurd still out there, still forechecking hard. He creates the turnover to Studioso, but he's unable to handle the puck. Allows Smith for UNLV to take it to Strong. Snapshot on, and he scores. Caleb Strong coming in with a lot of speed, unmarked on the left-hand side of the ice, and he beats Rodin.
Absolutely wired that shot. The Arizona State defense in that 2-on-2, completely taking away the pass, leaving Dawson Rodin to have to handle that shot head on. And you saw him come outside the blue paint, really get aggressive and challenge it. And it took a picture-perfect shot from Strong to go in, and he had that ready to go.
And that's going to make things that much more tougher as ASU isn't able to get in to the locker room, only down 3. Young, maybe ASU has one more opportunity in him. The Porter turns it over to Quinn. Lackey has to absorb the check from Strong. Couple seconds left as it ticks down. And that'll do it for the second period of play. As it was a fast effort done by Arizona State to try and fight these Rebels players, but UNLV gets the better of them in that second period of play. And we'll bring you live third period action in just under 15 minutes. At the end of 2 periods of play, UNLV 4, Arizona State nothing. This is Arizona State Hockey U2.
Well, I went down to the local arena after see the manager man. He came from his office, said, "Son, can I help you?" Looked at him and said, "Yes, you can." Yeah, I want to drive the Zamboni. Hey, I want to drive the Zamboni. Yes, I do. Now, ever since I was young, it's been my dream that I might drive the Zamboni machine. I get that ice just as slick as could be, and all the kids would look up to me. Hey, I want to drive the Zamboni. Hey, I want to drive the Zamboni. Yes, I do.
control. Well, I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. Just like me. My heroes had the heart to lose their lives. I wanna live. And all I remember is thinking, I wanna be like them. Ever since I was little, it looked like fun. And there's no coincidence. In this farewell, there's no blood, there's no alibi. 'Cause I've drawn regret from the truth of 1,000 lies. So let mercy come and wash away what I've done. I'll face myself to cross out what I've become. Erase myself and let go of what I've done. Put to rest what you thought of me while I clean this slate with the hands of uncertainty. So let mercy come and wash away what I've done. I'll face myself to cross out what I've become. Erase myself and let go of what I've
Coming down to the light of day, we got many moons that are deep at play. So I keep an eye on the shadow, smile to see what it has to say. You and I both know everything must go away. What do you say? Spinning out letters on my heart, it's like a bitter light and a touch of dark. You got sneak attack from the zodiac that I see off high spot.
be better off if I were on my own. I try to put my finger on the moment we went wrong, but the taste turned bitter, so I pulled the trigger. Not so easy to move on. I guess I should have known. Ice cold, I freeze up when I see ya. Left you just to find out that I need ya. So far, I wanna pull you closer. I wish we could start the whole thing over. Ever since I left you, I've been trying to get you back, and it keeps getting worse. I'm burning on the inside, and the truth is that I didn't know how good you were until you were gone. Until you were I'm never really gone. You think you're moving on, but it won't be for long. You'll see when I'm gone. I'm never really gone. You think you're moving on, but no one's gonna feel like me.
As the sun sets on Oceanside Arena, it's time for one final homestand. One last chance to show out at the arena that's housed ASU hockey for almost 45 years. And one last chance to send the Devil faithful home happy. The challenger comes in the form of the Las Vegas Rebels, and no easy task is ahead. Can the Sun Devils send the senior class riding off into the sunset? Or will the Rebels ruin the day? It's senior night. Find out next as we say farewell to our graduating class at Oceanside Arena. Arizona State Sun Devils, University of Las Vegas Rebels. Next on ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube.
When I'm gone, I'm never really gone. You think you're moving on, but no one's gonna feel like
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn, alongside my partner, Niall Cooper. And Niall, it's the last 20 minutes of play here at Oceanside Ice Arena, and it's also the last 20 minutes of play for the senior class for this Arizona State team. And they also have 20 minutes to try and make a difference in this hockey game.
Yeah, certainly the message in the locker room during the intermission was you have 20 minutes left in this building to send things out on a positive note, to show that you know how to play. We know Arizona State can play with UNLV. They've showed it just last night. They've showed it against top teams earlier in the year. And right now it's really just down to the veteran leaders on this team to step up and show Arizona State that they can play and that they're going to finish this thing off the way that they want to. And last night, you know, they had a 3-0 lead. We saw UNLV was able to come back from a 3-0 deficit within one period. So for Arizona State, I think the message is let's go out, let's get one. This isn't an insurmountable lead, but it's going to take everything we have to finish this game off the way that we know we can.
Absolutely. Everybody pulling on the rope. They just need one to go in, and next thing you know, they can maybe ride that momentum. Draw one by Porter as we start off this third period. Tillman unable to chip it down. Carollo over to Demizio, and Olsen ends up forcing him up against the boards. Something to get that spark in Arizona State's game. Maybe picking up the physicality, maybe a big defensive play, maybe a goal to get something going. As Rodin rebounds that shot and catapults it up and out of play.
I think the physicality is definitely something that we'll be seeing early in this period. for the Sun Devils. As one thing you may look for would be a better breakout game. And the ice right now is okay, so that you might be able to see Arizona State get a little bit better with their tape-to-tape passes. But within the next 5 to 10 minutes, I think you'll see that physicality continuing.
Aaron pass by Burke. Forces UNLV to dump it in. Marchand braces for the check from Smith. He's trying to get some help. Fisher's in there as well. Taken by UNLV. McCollum, quick D-to-D play. Burke. Burke with it, one-timer shot, and that's blocked by guess who? Clayton Lackey. He's had to wear a lot of shots tonight. That just gotten his body in the way. Now he's limping around a little bit. Tillman has some time, walks through the middle. Tillman, wrist shot on as he falls to the ice, and it's saved by Pavlison.
And I think Clayton Lackey is definitely going to get first, second, and third dibs on the ice bath tonight for the Sun Devils. The captain, the senior, coming out and putting it all on the line physically and figuratively speaking.
Absolutely. You might even have to see him at your local CVS store in the pain reliever aisle.
I might have to share my stash of ibuprofen with him that I got from Costco.
ASU trying to get that turnover. They're creating some havoc right now. Cooch, Hosworth. Hosworth centers that in front, loose in front, and Pavlison had to be sure with that, as that was a dangerous opportunity for Arizona State, and they're starting off this period on the right foot.
And a name we haven't called out too much tonight, Pavlison, number 29 for UNLV. He has not seen a lot of action. Arizona State only having 9 shots just a moment ago, finally getting into the double digits in the shot column. A far cry from 24 hours ago. The Sun Devil squad, the effort they turned in then. And I think Pavlison's really going to have to stay sharp this period for UNLV.
UNLV definitely knows they're going to be seeing the kitchen sink thrown at them by Arizona State as they're down. Palmer's point shot gets blockered away by Pavlison. Palmer and Gunnar Smith meet in the corner. Kruk, tape-to-tape pass to Cooch. Cooch, 1-on-5, so he ends up losing his balance, but he still controls the puck. Franklin dumps it in as Arizona State finishes off a change. Caleb Strong to Smith. Erdman trying to find it. Porter. Now Plurge, wrist shot, misses wide. Franklin keeps it in on the right side. Send it out in front. And skating it now to Erdman. Franklin waits, but it gets taken away. It's now a 2-on-1 for UNLV. Gunnar Smith with it. One-timer shot and an unbelievable stop by a busy Dawson Rodine. Turned over again. Gunnar Smith waiting for some of his teammates. Quinn, shot on, and the changeup goes to Rodine, and we'll have a whistle.
Almost a knuckle curve at the end there, as that one really took a funny deflection and dipped down on Rodine. Rodine looking sharp, facing his 29th shot of the game.
Maybe one of his best saves of the night as well on that right to left post save. Feelig shot misses wide. Marchand, high chip off the glass. It'll come to Barry. Played back in by Flanders. Marchand, chipped, knocked down by Manning. Olsen's able to get his stick in the way. Marcus Tillman unable to get there. Rin back around. Schultz ends up absorbing the check from Feelig to Marchand. Now to Keller, but he ends up falling to the ice. And he gets turned over to UNLV. Icing waved off. Olsen has to reach for it. Unable to get that puck to settle down, and it was almost turned over.
And you're starting to see the ice quality deteriorate exponentially here at Oceanside. And these passes are going to get harder and harder to complete.
DeMizio fakes the shot by himself, waiting for some recruits off the bench. Ness's shot on the wrister misses wide. McCollum's shot, he'll miss wide left. DeMizio settles the puck down. Shot through, and that's blocked away by Rodin. And plays whistle down as behind the play, Lackey and Johnson get tangled up. The linesmen are trying to separate them. Might be stuck with super glue, both of those guys trying to tear them apart.
I think Clayton Lackey just getting familiar with number 22 in red. As you see a smile on Lackey's face going to the bench. We mentioned it before, he always plays his best when he's trying to get underneath the skin of the opposing team. Lackey really close there to drawing a power play for Arizona State. They will end up getting coincidental, so it'll be 4-on-4 action for both of these teams. And Arizona State with a little bit of zip on their movement so far to start this third period. This might be just what the doctor ordered, that free space on the ice. Once again, we'll have to watch for any turnovers at their own blue line, however.
Kruk drops it to Kylie Ram as he gets forced back into his own zone by Burke. Yonovi doing a great job on the forecheck of not allowing ASU to get a clean breakout. They finally do. Wyatt Palmer. Palmer with it. Trying to dig his way through now to Tillman. Tillman pulls the trigger, but it's stopped by Pavlison, who's been locked in so far, rocking a shutout in this third period.
Pavlison very locked in. Tillman, he had to settle that one down a little bit. It didn't want to settle for him on the tape of his stick. And Tillman able to get a shot off. That's the third good shot he's had tonight from the slot area on Pavlison. And as you mentioned, locked in for sure.
Draw one cleanly by the Rebels. Will be collected by Kyle Quinn. Carullo had to settle the errant pass from Quinn and regroup in his own zone. DeMizio gets past Tillman. DeMizio still with it, but it gets swept away from his possession, and it will come to Rodin, and we'll have a stoppage.
It smells like Arizona State's going to need some college spirit to get themselves back into this game tonight.
Carullo fakes the shot. Down low to Olsen. But DeMizio will get there to Quinn. Quinn's shot on. Right leg stop by Rodin. Rodin makes another stop as there's 46 seconds left of 4-on-4 action.
Sadly, my Nirvana knowledge does not go deep enough, Brett, to make any more good references there.
Don't worry, I don't believe this is a Nirvana song. One by Studioso. Marchand, poor pass. Taken away by Smith, and a wicked deflection in front. Rodin had to be ready for it. Quinn. Taken away by Marchand, and he'll stop and wait to get some space to break it out. Studioso. Studioso with it. Centered in front, and Pavlison with the heads-up play, putting his paddle down to negate the pass.
A heads-up play there as Phillips was waiting in the wings on that back door all alone.
Marchand will get it. Gets around one. Wrist shot on, and Pavlison will glove it down and let the play continue. Both teams are now back to full strength. Palmer fans on the dump in. Gives it right back to the Rebels. Feelig, the touch pass, gets it in. Palmer with it now. Studioso, the cross ice pass will find Damon Porter. Porter drops it. Kruk, quick shot on. Plur trying to bank it off the goaltender Pavlison, but he's able to seal the right leg up against the post.
A high IQ play from Plurd, showing off all of his hockey knowledge there. As he saw Pavlison not holding on that post, Pavlison was gearing up to make that swift move from his right to his left to cover for the wrap. and Plurd nearly catching him off guard, banking it in.
As ASU's making a quick substitution with Kylie Ram coming in for Porter. Draw one by the Rebels. Kruk knocks it down. He'll find Lackey on the right side. Lackey hesitates, and he escapes up to the blue line. Drops it for Palmer. Palmer almost losing his balance, and he'll just chip it down the corner to Kylie Ram. Kylie Ram getting harassed by Barry. Barry dislodges the puck, but he gets it caught up in Lackey's skates. Up to the point, Kruk. Wrist shot on, blockered up into the sky by Pavlison. Arizona State with a nice little spell offensively. Kruk. Another wrist shot on, and Pavlison had to fight through the traffic to see that. Palmer gloves it down. Palmer with it. Rimmed around to Kylie Ram on the left side. He centers that one in front, takes a hop off of Fisher's leg, and play will continue. Kylie Ram centers in front, but no ASU players there. Erdman keeps it in, and Pavlison makes the glove save.
And that's a quality offensive zone shift for Arizona State. The top line, and Clayton Lackey once again doing the most down low, winning a battle against two Rebels players. Wyatt Palmer showing off some slick skating of his own. And the Sun Devils pushing right now. They're going to certainly need to dig deep to get this first goal.
Draw one by the Rebels. They'll have a breakout play, which allows them to get out of their own zone. Hard check by Erdman delivered. Wyatt unable to handle it. Now comes to Elliot Plurd. Plurd driving hard through the middle. Plurd shot on, and that misses high. Nobody there for Arizona State. Rebels have numbers going the other way. Barry drops it. Flanders gets taken down by Erdman. Now the defenseman leading the charge. Ian Erdman with it. Just had to reach for Young. Young up to the point. Brendan Studioso. Shot on, and the redirection misses wide. Porter's shot on, and Pavlison was able to track that one with no one in front. And with 11:13 left in the third period, UNLV is still holding on to their 4-goal lead.
Erdman maybe getting a little bit lucky at his own blue line. The Rebels coming offensively into the zone with a 4-on-2 man advantage. And Erdman trying to play defense against two players. Got a little bit spread out. Referees deeming that to be a legal play, and Arizona State afforded that counterattack the other way.
Marchand has a lane and ended up waiting a little too long. His feeling got his leg in front of it. Although these will be the last games here on home ice for Arizona State, they do still have 2 more games remaining on the schedule as they go down to Tucson to face the arch rivals Arizona Wildcats, and that's another 2-game series that could be big implications for their national bid if they can come out with good results. It's a 2-on-1 for the Rebels. Felix shot on, rebound still loose in front, cleared away by Cooch on the back check. Now Arizona State has numbers going the other way. Phillips trying to center that one in front, it's blocked. Olsen trying to get a shot through, blocked by Quinn, and that gets redirected up into the rafters of Oceanside.
And as we near the midway point of the third period, you can tell the Sun Devils are starting to get a little bit more loosey-goosey, trying to pinch, be more aggressive. They know they need a lot of goals to get back into this game. And I think we're going to see more odd man rushes for both teams as the next few minutes continue to tick on by.
And I believe that'll be the message from Arizona State on being overly aggressive as you're down 4 goals and you're just trying to get anything going. Arizona State doing a good job of keeping UNLV pinned back for the moment. DeMizio will skid it out himself and dump it in. Olsen gets a lucky bounce off the referee. It allows Arizona State to attack. Tillman stops, waits. Ricocheted off the back end boards, but doesn't make its way to the front of Pavlison. DiMezzio, tremendous play of kicking the puck up from his skates to his stick, and he'll dump it in. Marchand on the floor trying to get back up. Tillman helps it along. Porter unable to get it out. And that knuckler comes to Gallant. Gallant on the wrap, and an amazing stop by Dawson Rodine. An athletic play to put the paddle down.
Dawson Rodine has been locked in early and often in this game, facing a lot of rubber from UNLV. And he has no problem making the acrobatic saves tonight for Arizona State, trying to keep them within chasing distance of this game.
Definitely no fault of Dawson Rodine's, as he's had to face a lot of rubber tonight against his talented UNLV roster as Arizona State goes offsides.
And it's definitely intriguing coming into tonight, wondering who we were going to see between the pipes for Arizona State, as it's been Eric Garber seeing the brunt of the competitive and challenging action lately down the stretch. Dawson Rodine, however, on senior night getting the nod, and he has looked good in spite of the score that is in front of us.
Wyatt gains center ice, dumps it in. UNLV is trying to apply the pressure still in Arizona State to not allow anything to go and to try to preserve their shutout. Kylie Ram in the corner gets pinned to the wall. Studioso was trying to look for the touch pass for Plurd. They can't connect. Plurd still has the puck within the corner. It comes over to the other side. Kylie Ram. Arizona State's working hard on this shift, and that centering pass from Studioso. Plurd wasn't ready. Burke takes a hit around by Kruk. UNLV going for a partial change allows Arizona State to break it out. Kruk rims it around to Plurd. Feelig now trying to chip it out. Flanders trying to get away around Franklin, but he had to get some help from Manning. Turned over, Hosworth with it, one of the seniors for Arizona State. Shows it to the corner, but he's outnumbered right now as there's 3-1 in favor of UNLV. And the Rebels are able to clear it out. And we'll have a whistle as Arizona State did not touch up to get back onside. For the Rebels, they still have 2 games remaining in their regular season, as they'll be facing the neighbors across town, Grand Canyon University, but that game will be in Las Vegas. Phillips on the back check is able to take the puck away from Feelig, but he's still getting a rough ride from him. Now into the corner. At the point, Barry just keeps it in. Throwing it down to Feelig. 7:45 remains in the third period. Shot on from Manning. Schultz picks up the rebound, and he'll skate it out to Hosworth. That puck's bobbling end over end, and he'll just go for a change. Now the Rebels go for a change as there's 7 minutes and change. And lucky play by the defenseman Quinn as he ended up catching an edge, but didn't allow Arizona State any offensive zone time from it. We'll try it again. Rodine sets it up behind his net. Trying to chip it around. Blocked down by Gunnar Smith. Strong in there with it. And I have to give credit to UNLV. They're still coming out hard even with this 4-goal lead.
They're certainly not going to mail it in this third period, and that's just one of the few things that shows the pedigree of a number 3 overall team.
And possibly, I think it's safe to say, maybe the best UNLV team we've seen in our time covering the ACHA.
Certainly the case, as they've risen sharply up the rankings in the last few years among the best of the ACHA.
Puck unable to be settled down by Connor Tillman. McCollum has to reverse pass it over to DiMezzio. McCollum absorbs the check. Marchand takes a look and chips it out to the neutral ice. Time's ticking down for Arizona State. as they're still trying to search for one. Gallant stops, drops it for DeMizio. DeMizio protecting the puck. Hard rim around. Crook tries to force it out up to Porter. Now to Plurd. They have some clean ice. Plurd. Palmer, wrist shot on, and that'll miss wide. In the corner, Crook settles it down. Shot goes through and kept in by Plurd. Studioso centering that one in front to Porter, but that puck just rolling end over end, couldn't settle down for him. 5:20 left in the third period. Studioso turns it over. Drop play. Nobody knows where it is. Now here's a shot on by Fisher, blocked. Still going, blocked. Kept in by Barry. Carollo just able to keep it in. UNLV still applying the pressure. In the corner, Palmer. Osworth in the corner. That's shipped out by Wyatt Palmer. UNLV keeping Arizona State at bay, making it tough for the Sun Devils to try and break it out cleanly with speed.
Yeah, as you said, they're doing a really good job seeing out this game. Nothing coming easy for the Sun Devils tonight.
Osworth forces Carollo back in his own zone. As we're down to under 4 minutes left to play. Phillips impedes Flanders. Franklin to Hosworth. Hosworth slowing the play down to Phillips. Sean Phillips. His shot misses wide. Connor Tillman has it to Franklin. Haven't had a whistle in a few minutes. Cooch. He'll play it back up. Franklin, the point shot on, misses high. Centered out in front to Cooch, but he had it on his backhand, handcuffed him a little bit. He couldn't release the shot. Erdman plays it back down as Arizona State finishes off the change. And a couple players get tangled up, and we'll have a whistle as it looks to be Flanders and Arizona State player tangled up. Credit to the referee and linesman to try to keep everything civil, as that ended up happening behind the play.
And that's number 19, Connor Tillman, on the ice as he was coming around. Pavlison way out behind his net to play the puck. Pavlison trying to lay a slight pick on Tillman. Tillman having no problem making some slight contact with Pavlison. I think both players making a little bit of a meal out of it. And the question now will be, how does the referee view things? Because the defensive partner for UNLV that was on the ice came over with quite a bit of fervor to let Connor Tillman know how he felt about it.
We now see the referees heading to the crease. And it looks to end up being that it's going to be a coincidental penalties, but maybe ASU coming off of it shorthanded.
That certainly wouldn't surprise me, given the fact that the contact did look quite a bit dramatic with the goaltender, and typically in hockey you really are not allowed to make any contact with the goaltender whatsoever. And I think Tillman knew as soon as that play happened that he was going to go to the box.
And so 3:13 left. UNLV will head back on the power play, making this very difficult for Arizona State to try to claw their way back in. Wyatt over to McCollum. McCollum overhandles the puck. Kylie Ram jumps on it and will clear it down. Wyatt drops it over to Strong. Strong fakes the pass with it. Circles back up. Gets it back from Wyatt. And good positioning by Kylie Ram will allow him to go for a change. Olsen, hard clearance. As Arizona State trying to get maybe any momentum as they still have those 2 games down in Tucson with a finish here.
Yeah, and to the point that you mentioned earlier, Brett, those 2 games down in Tucson, I think regardless of how this weekend went, we're going to have major implications on both Arizona teams in terms of trying to make nationals. And as it looks right now, that only is going to be more important, the result for Arizona State in the final weekend of the season.
Wyatt with it. Seam pass intercepted by Palmer, and it'll be cleared down. 30 seconds left on the minor penalty to Connor Tillman. Gallant kicks it along in the corner. Drops it for DeMizio. Good performance by that line tonight for UNLV. One-timer shot from Johnson misses wide. And it'll go all the way down. Jake Berry, one of the upperclassmen for UNLV, handling the puck. Tillman steps back up onto the ice surface after serving that penalty. Loose in front, jamming at it, and they score. UNLV is able to get one more as that power play was just expiring, and they push the lead to 5.
And you can see just as much as Arizona State wanted to come out and finish this game strong, UNLV has just as much conviction in the way that they came out in this third period. They knew they wanted to walk out of here with a win. They knew they wanted a shutout, and getting that power play opportunity there, they knew in the world that they absolutely were going to get a 5th goal, and it looked like there's nothing that was going to stop them.
Definitely a good response from them tonight, as they knew they weren't going to have a good taste in their mouth after the game when they're in their defeat to Arizona State from last night. Under 60 seconds left in this hockey game. Plurd over to Studioso. Arizona State trying to get possibly one chance at it. Pavlison will come out, wait. As he gets some help from his UNLV teammates. Carollo with it. Carollo dropping that one, and great hustle on the back check by Erdman. Parter. Still with it, Porter shot on. Centers that one in front as ASU is trying to dive for it. Young shot. Ends up getting blocked by a sprawling Smith. And that ends up being cleared into the UNLV bench, and the face-off will be commencing with just 5 seconds left. That's not the way Arizona State wanted to close out their last game here at Oceanside Ice Arena, but it was definitely a good weekend, you can say so, especially after their victory against UNLV last night. Puck kept in by Lacking. He'll clear it down, and that'll do it here for this last game at Oceanside. As it was great to see the friends and family come out tonight. It was the last night at Oceanside, but it was also the last night for this senior class who's done so much for this Arizona State program. And for UNLV, it's a good note to end on before their trip back to Las Vegas, as they're going to be in contention for a national championship, possibly coming later in the year. As we have both teams shake hands, as it was a tough-fought weekend for both teams. Definitely learned a lot, I imagine, if you ask each coaching staff respectively. And up here at the press box, Oceanside Ice Arena, Now, is there anything maybe you'll miss about this great barn?
I think there's going to be a lot of things that I'm going to miss, certainly about Oceanside. I know we always come in here, we talk about how cold it is, and we talk about getting up here in the press box, but the vantage point that we've had over the years getting to call games has just been amazing.
And we'll focus in on the ASU team, maybe more pertinent than ever, of saluting the friends and family that came out, because a lot of them are here tonight.
Yeah, it was a great show out. We saw a lot of the family and friends as we were walking in the building tonight. Girlfriends, moms, dads, grandparents, everyone in attendance supporting the players tonight on senior night.
As we'll get things situated here at the Oceanside Ice Arena press box. Brett Vaughn alongside my partner, Niall Cooper. And Niall, again, not the note they wanted to end on here at Oceanside, but it was something that when you look back at this season, I think you can take a lot from.
Yeah, you certainly can. Arizona State, they started the year off on a 6-game heater, and we saw some great games early in the season here at Oceanside. And Arizona State actually got up all the way to number 3 in the nation, coincidentally enough, given the UNLV squad that came in here tonight. The Sun Devils, they kind of tripped. They had to find themselves, pull themselves up by their own bootstraps as the season wore on, and it came down the stretch here, and we got some great hockey this weekend. Not the result that they wanted tonight, but you look at last night, you look at spurts tonight, and the support from everyone that came in to attendance to see the final weekend here at Oceanside Ice Arena. I mean, it was a really good weekend overall.
Also want to mention, too, that anytime you finish near the end of the season and you still have an opportunity at Nationals, that's still something to be proud of.
Something very to be proud of. And I think for Arizona State, a lot of the talk is Oceanside is going to be, demolished in a month. This is the final game here. It's the final game of the season at home. It's senior night. And with all that, we still have to look forward next week. They're playing U of A twice down in Tucson. Arizona just on the inside of the Nationals, looking at trying to stay in that positioning. Arizona State, when the final rankings come out, they're probably going to be looking just on the outside. So both those teams really going to be competing. And I think if anyone can dominate the weekend series down in Tucson next week, that might be just what it takes to send either one of these teams to Boston.
And usually this is a point of the evening that will go into our player of the game. But tonight's something very special. We want to salute all the 10 seniors on this Arizona State roster that have made it a joy for us to cover up here in the booth.
Certainly the case, and I'll go through my first 5 here tonight, Brett. I think a lot of the season, it was Brendan Studioso offensively. He was the leading point getter for Arizona State this season, and he showed it this weekend. He showed it in the big game at Mullet. He always seemed to rise to the occasion. He was great, not to mention Jack Hosworth, the utility man up and down the lineup. We saw him play defense. We saw him play center. He was on the penalty kill, the power play, doing it all. And then Damon Porter, Clayton Lackey, Elliott Plurd, the veteran senior forwards on this team, leading the charge night in and night out. They're so much fun to watch. Their hockey IQ is always on display. For me, those 5 seniors, huge.
Absolutely. They mentioned Lackey, Plurd. I want to say thank you to Ryan Landfair as well. He was one of those tweeners where he actually played maybe a lot more forward than he did previously in his career playing defense. Braden Shaw, that physical presence for Arizona State, especially on the forward check. We're definitely going to go ahead and miss him. Blake Biala, one of the goaltenders on the Arizona State roster. He's always fun to be around, vibrant, one of the talkers in the locker room. We'll definitely miss his presence, as well as the starting goaltender tonight, Dawson Rodin. Great performance, even in a losing battle.
Definitely the case. The goaltenders, lots of fun, really put up performances. And up and down the lineup, the seniors, they left their imprints all over this team from start to finish.
Also want to say a big thank you here to all the rink staff at Oceanside Ice Arena, as well as the place it was in the Phoenix metro area for almost 40-plus years as well, especially for the Arizona State ice hockey program.
It's been huge, the work they've put in. This building isn't the most illustrious building in the country, but it's something we've got to call home for so many years.
And folks, we want to say thank you again for tuning in for Arizona State ACHA Hockey YouTube. We hope you join later in the fall this year for one last time from Oceanside Ice Arena. For my partner Niall Cooper, I'm Brett Vaughn, reminding you of tonight's final score. Arizona State coming up on the losing end by losing by the score of 5-0 against the UNLV Rebels. Thank you so much for tuning in, and so long from Oceanside Ice Arena.